Hello, everyone. Today I am in a very special place. I don't know if you can tell where this is. You could take a guess. I'm in Egypt because today's Bible lesson takes place all the way in the Old Testament in Egypt. Um, some of you guys might be familiar with the story of Moses. It's a really famous story. Today we're going to be learning about Moses, and he sees the burning bush. So he's in the desert. He sees this bush that doesn't go out. I'm sure in the desert he would see bushes burn, but he just saw this bush continually burning, and he went to go check it out. And when he did, he heard a voice. He heard the voice of God saying, "Take off your sandals, for the ground that you are standing is holy ground." And Jesus tells Moses that he's going to send him to go to Egypt, right here, and he's going to set his people free because Moses's people were the Israelites, and they were living in Egypt, and they were slaves to the Egyptian empire. So they were suffering, they were hurting, and they were crying out to God, "Lord, save us from our suffering." Well, God heard their cries, and God sent Moses. Now, Moses, it's interesting because Moses grew up in Egypt. He grew up in the palace, and he was raised as a prince, but we know that he probably knew that he was an Israelite. And what happened was he ended up killing one of the Egyptian slave masters. And when Pharaoh, he knew that if Pharaoh found out, he would be dead. So he ran away, and he was in the desert for years. And then he encounters this burning bush, and God says, "Go back to Egypt and set my people free." And it's funny because in Exodus chapter 4, and I'll read it to you right now, he has this conversation with God. Because he doesn't want to go. He says, "What if they do not believe me?" So Exodus 4, verse 1. Moses answered, "What if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, 'The Lord did not appear to you?'" Then the Lord said to him, "What is in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. The Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." So Moses reached out his hand and took hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. "This," said the Lord, "is that so people believe that people that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." Then the Lord said, "Put your hand inside your cloak." So Moses put his hand inside his cloak, and he took it out, and it was leprous like snow. "Now put it back in your cloak," he said. So Moses put it back in his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored, like the rest of his flesh. The Lord said, "If they do not believe you or pay attention to the miraculous sign, they may believe the second. But if they do not believe these two signs or listen to you, take some water from the Nile, pour it on dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground." So this is a really interesting passage because Moses is standing in front of a miracle. He's standing in front of a burning bush that's talking, right? So he knows this is God's voice talking to him, but he is scared, and he continues to argue. He says, "I'm never good with words. What if I don't say the right things?" And this is after God shows him, this miraculous staff that he could use to perform miracles and turn the Nile, which is this river I'm pointing to, into blood. Um, God is showing Moses all the miraculous things he could do, but Moses keeps thinking about his shortcomings. He keeps thinking about things that he's not good at. And he's saying, "I'm not good at talking. Why are you sending me there?" So they have this really funny conversation. And I think that's often how we feel. We know that God is great and God is big, and that God created the whole world, and God made wonderful things, beautiful creation. But sometimes when we feel like God is telling us to do something, we get scared and we doubt. And I think this passage is here. This passage, it shows us that even someone like Moses, someone that ended up doing great things for God, at some point doubted, at some point didn't believe that God can use him. And I think that's all of us. There are many times where God will ask us to step out of faith, to do things that other people might not do, to live a life of faith, to be a disciple of Jesus. And we have to remember that when God tells us to do something, He's not asking us to do it alone, that God is with us, that God is strengthening us. And through us, God can do amazing things like He did through Moses. So today we're going to be we're going to be watching Superbook. We're going to be watching the story of Moses and how he saw the burning bush and how he got the Israelites out of Egypt. So it's a really great story. I hope you guys enjoy. Bye.